It's so important now to understand what content is, or else you're going to get left behind.
In this episode, we explore the highs and lows of content creation.
Ever since I was younger, I never knew what I wanted to do. And then as soon as I stepped into social media, I was like, right, this is me. Content is just now. Don't get social media, I don't get this, I don't get that. You're the ones who are going to get stuck.
In a world full of AI and content, what does it really take to be successful?
Now looking back, I'm like, wow, I've actually built a brand. That's what I love about this job and storytelling with content, because people can relive their moments. I've lost my dad and I've got no video footage of him, and I'd give anything to get that back. I've come from Boohoo, I've come from a big brand. I am successful. Sorry, I need to sit back and say that because sometimes I forget.
Welcome to the Dark Room, where everything comes to light.
Named Best International Creator by Lovely Magazine, your brand has been established for over 6 years working in social media management and content creation. You have over 100,000 followers across your social platforms, as well as helping brides and brands bring their vision to life. So, who is Lauren and what is the mission?
So, who is Lauren? That's deep. That is deep. I feel like Lauren is just trying to make a career out of all of this. I feel like ever since I was younger, I never knew what I wanted to do. And then as soon as I stepped into social media, I was like, right, this is me. And then when I stepped further into content creation, I was like, yeah, amazing. So the mission for me is just to make this a full-time big career. It is full-time already, but sometimes I do look in 5 years and think, will I still be doing this? Will I still be doing this when I'm 40? I feel like the mission for me is to grow bigger, make this even bigger, see what I can branch out into, rebranding, social media management in the wedding space. Can I get content any bigger? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. So do you want to stick in the wedding space, or do you
know what? I feel like I always tell myself every year, I get to the start of every year, and I will for 2026 as well, and I think I want to do more branded stuff. So that's where I've come from. I've come from Boohoo, I've come from a big brand, and I kind of miss doing that stuff. So I think in the future, I'd like it to be a 60-40 split where I take on less weddings and I'm doing more branded stuff. I feel like that's like my bread and butter. So I'd love to branch out further into the branding and work for bigger brands again and just see where that can take me, because I do worry with weddings, not trying to speak it into existence, but how long is content going to be around for in weddings? I hope forever, but it might evolve into something different, or it might be just a trend, which I hope it's not, but I'd love to, do more branded stuff, because that's where I've come from.
So obviously content in general is not a trend, because every business on
every
earth
business
is going to need
doing,
it. Do you miss working under such a massive business like Boohoo?
I do and I don't. I think working for myself is incredible, but I do miss, I don't know how to put it. I do miss being part of a brand and seeing the success of a brand growing, and seeing my work on an Instagram page with 6 million followers was a feeling that was just incredible. So I kind of do miss it, but equally I love having my own business in Brides of Social and doing the wedding sort of thing. But recently I did set up Brands of Social, which is going to be like my sister brand to Brides of Social. Yeah. And I'm just kind of working on that because I do miss doing brand work.
What was the decision to move away from Boohoo?
So the decision to leave Boohoo was the pay, for one. I feel like anyone who's worked in fashion knows it's shocking pay. I feel like I was working 24/7 and not reaping the rewards from it.
I was about to say, you're still working 24/7.
Yeah, legit, still working 24/7, but get paid a little bit more. I feel like it was a lot at the time. I think it was great at the time because I was 20 to 25. I was living my best life. But I think as soon as I got engaged, I thought, and this sort of thing came around with wedding content creation, I thought, you know what, I want to give that a go. And I remember doing my first few weddings and thinking, no, I hate this. I want to go back to branding. Yeah, I don't know why, because I think I was exhausted. Like, no one knows how to work a wedding until you work a wedding. Like, them days are intense.
It's a different world.
It's a different world. I feel like I used to think working at Boohoo was intense, and then I started weddings, and yeah, it's intense, but now I love weddings. I've got used to them. I know my flow, so I do love working in weddings and working for myself. But yeah, I think my time at Boohoo was done. My time with fashion was done, because I just think it wasn't long term, if that makes sense. I couldn't be 30 and still working in fashion because the money just wasn't there. So I just had to work out what my next steps were. And as soon as I got engaged, I realised there was like a gap in the market. And I thought, I can see myself doing weddings now. I just haven't looked back. And I do say to myself, I want to do more brand stuff, but then I take on even more weddings.
Yeah.
So I'm like, am I going to ever do the branded stuff?
Beast.
The all-consuming weddings. I feel like because Brides of Social has blown up that much, I can't say no to the work. I can't say no to the weddings. And I don't want to, really. So, yeah, who knows when the brand stuff will come about.
Do you think that blew up because you knew what to do with social media?
Yes, I do, because I think I would have struggled on social media. I think any business struggles on social media if you haven't got social media experience. I don't know. I think if you haven't got a little bit of knowledge on how Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, any of that works, I think you do struggle a little bit. So I think my follower growth, everyone always asks me whenever I'm at a wedding, and I'm working with photographers, videographers, and we'll follow each other on social media. You know what it's like. And they'll be like, God, 30,000 followers. And it's kind of like I feel a bit embarrassed, because I'm like, no, but I have actually worked for that. And I know what has led me to get that amount of followers. And I think it is having social media knowledge, especially for a big brand such as Boohoo. They teach you everything. Like, we had TikTok coming in, we had Instagram coming in, people from them companies coming in and teaching us what works, what doesn't work, what's going to make you go viral. So I think I've kept all that knowledge now and banked it up, and I use it to my advantage now on Instagram and TikTok. So
Which one would you choose if you had to choose one?
Oh, it's so hard. I feel like TikTok is where you can be a little bit more informal. And I feel like Instagram, you have to keep it clean and polished, because that's your portfolio. That's the way I see it anyway.
That's exactly. We were just talking about it,
Yeah.
me and Mel, and I was saying the exact same thing, and I was
Yeah.
saying that's why I've struggled to find a voice on TikTok.
Yes, yeah,
because
you're
I'm
very clean and polished.
That's it.
Yeah,
I'm not used to.
yeah, being silly or
Yeah.
anything. I don't necessarily say it's silly, but for me on TikTok, I put like tips and tricks. Do you know what I mean? And wedding tips and tricks that I've seen other people doing. On Instagram, I wouldn't usually put that. I want to keep it clean and aesthetically pleasing on Instagram. But I think sometimes I don't know. I'd probably choose Instagram.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's hard.
So I was saying I would always choose Instagram.
Yeah.
Because it's like 4K footage,
Yes,
perfect
yeah,
audio.
yeah,
like,
exactly.
That is me.
Yeah.
But TikTok seems to be getting bigger.
Yeah, it is. It is.
I feel like it's taken over.
Yeah, absolutely. And for me as a consumer, and because I've been a bride as well, for me as a bride, I was on TikTok more than Instagram.
Yeah.
So I do feel like if you are, even if you're not in the wedding industry, if you're just a business, it is good to be on TikTok, because people use that now instead of Google. Like, they're on TikTok searching for things instead of Google, if that makes sense. So I feel like it is good to be on TikTok as a brand. So I don't know.
That is really interesting, actually. So it's,
Yeah.
it's almost like.
It's like a search engine.
Yeah.
So I've
never viewed it like that,
Yeah, it is. I never Google anything anymore. I probably use ChatGPT sometimes, but mainly I'm on TikTok, like saying tips for the best wedding breakfast entrance, or I'm using wedding things because I was a bride, but I'm always on there, like best colour for your walls because I'm decorating my house. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm always on TikTok like that. So whenever I do meet people who are like looking to get bigger with their brand or get more followers or get more bookings, I'm always saying you do need to be on TikTok. But yeah.
So if a brand came to you now,
Yeah.
weddings or any brand basically, and was like, right, we need more sales, bookings,
Yeah.
inquiries, whatever.
Yeah.
What's your number one tip that you'd give them?
I'd say just be present on social media. I suppose it's what they want to get out of something. So if I was saying, like, if it's whether you want website visits, bookings, anything like that, where I think followers and bookings is slightly different, because I've got quite a lot of followers on TikTok, and I think TikTok brings your brand builds up your brand awareness, but I'd say I get more bookings from Instagram. So it's hard. I think if you want more brand awareness, I'd say make a TikTok account, get on TikTok, get your face on there. If you want more bookings, stick to Instagram, do paid ads, do like nice clean footage, and that does get you more bookings. So
ideally you're going to need both.
You're going to need both, yeah. You should get on TikTok, Matt.
Yeah, no, I'm on there.
You're really good on Instagram, though.
But I'm just a complete consumer. Like, I watch it rather than put the content out. And I always say to myself, that is a terrible pattern to get into.
Yeah.
You should always be the creator, not the consumer.
Yeah, exactly.
But I'm trying to get around that.
Yeah. You've probably got so many clippings that would go viral on TikTok, though, from either speeches or what things that have happened during the wedding day, because you've got actual audio as well. So I
think it's a mentality thing as well, because I always approach it as like a whole... Naturally, like being a videographer and stuff, I approach it as a whole film instead of a moment and a clip. Yeah. And it's just readjusting.
Because you've got so many moments and clips.
Yeah. Oh, God. Yeah. Libraries. Let's take it all the way back. So what did 10-year-old Lauren want to be?
It's crazy this is, because when I think back, I'm like, what did I want to be? I don't think I ever had that thought or feeling until I got to college. I was just winging it through life. I feel like because I was so extroverted, even as a child, I just thought, oh, I'll wing it. I'll just see. Do you know what I mean? I'll smash it. Anything I'll smash. And I think my mum and dad never pressured me into a career. I think when people are younger, I had friends with mums and dads who wanted them to get into medicine or be a dentist or a vet. My mum and dad were never like that. They just wanted me to be happy, and we'll come to that decision when we get to it. So I never had like an actual career in mind, which is why I always say, like, I always felt like the odd one out in my friendship group, because everyone knew what they wanted to be. I was just winging it because there wasn't a subject that I was really good at. So yeah, I didn't really know at that age. I think the first job that came to mind when I went to, because I loved media studies, was journalism, because there was never anything like social media or content back then. So yeah, I kind of fell into that, but no, I was just thinking I'll wing it through life. Was it hard? It was a never set plan.
Was it hard to explain what you do to people?
Yeah, still now my mum's like a bit. My mum knows what I do, but she's like, is this going to last forever? Like, I think the older generation it's harder to explain to. Because I don't think they fully understand what content is at the moment. But I think my generation and the younger generation under that understand that content is everything now. Content is what we're all viewing every day. If there wasn't any content, we wouldn't be viewing hardly anything on social media. Do you know what I mean?
It's relevant to absolutely everyone.
To everyone. And I think everyone needs content. And I think there's people who are older who are like, oh, don't get social media, I don't get this, I don't get that. You're the ones who are going to get stuck someday, because I think you're stuck in your ways, in your old-fashioned ways. And I think content is just now. Like, brands are doing it, companies are doing it. I think, yeah, it's so important now to understand what content is, or else you're going to get left behind.
Yeah, I think there has to be a point, I think, in the next kind of 5 years where like every business has an in-house content creator.
Absolutely. And I think that role never even existed when I was at Boohoo. It was like you had the social media team, because I didn't go out and shoot content until around 2021. Like, before that, obviously we had a videographer, photographer, and what we posted on social media was just that and only that. And then
was it very polished?
Very polished, yeah. And our campaigns would be really, really polished. And all we'd post on social media was professional photos that a photographer had shot. You'd never dream of posting anything on an iPhone on that big social media platform. But now, if you look at Boohoo, it's all content. So,
but this is it. That would have been viewed as like sloppy.
Yeah, it would have, and messy. Like, I can remember when we were at Boohoo in the early days, and we were doing like flat lays, and the photographer was off. So we were like, do we try to shoot this with a phone? And our manager was like, absolutely not. Are you posting that? Yeah. And now it's like, it's just normal to do that now. So
do you think making that transition from quite an understandable black and white, I work in fashion,
Yeah.
to this kind of like, I don't know, like ominous role that people don't fully understand.
Yeah.
It's just crazy because obviously the way the world's opening up, and especially with AI and stuff, there's got to be roles in maybe 5-10 years that don't even exist. Like we haven't even imagined yet.
Yeah, my role didn't exist in weddings 3 years ago, and my role in social media didn't exist like over 5 years ago. So, yeah.
This is it. So where do you see content as a whole being in the next decade?
I think, like you said, it'll grow bigger, and I think AI will come into it, because we were touching on AI in my previous job as well, just before I left, and turning AI into content. So we were posting stuff on social media that was using AI to make us seem like we were in a different place. Or, do you know, if we were launching a campaign, we did like little AI videos then. So I feel like AI will come into it, but I think content will be bigger than ever in like 5 years' time. And I think, I don't know, I think video will still be a thing as well, but videographers will be changing the way they shoot, because I think you guys shoot landscape at the moment, don't you? So I feel like, again, everything will be in that 6:19.
Yeah. Well, I wonder how long it is until we have like mirrorless cameras that suddenly have like phone features.
Yeah, exactly.
Like surely that's going to...
Yeah, 1,000%. The way people consume things now, like I said, is in that phone view.
Yeah.
What is
vertical.
it? Yeah, vertical. It's in like everyone's doing that in a vertical. And if I ever see anything in a landscape now, I'm like, oh my God, what is this? It's an ad. Do you know what I mean? So I feel like, the way that everything is consumed, even films now are being shot on iPhone. So it's getting bigger and bigger.
So leading on from that, do you think that living online, kind of like we all do, like we all shop online,
absolutely,
plan online, search online, everything's kind of like from the phone.
Yeah.
Do you think that's like a good thing or a bad thing?
I've got to say good, because we work in that industry, and I think everyone consumes everything online. I do feel sad when I'm walking through like a high street and all the shops are shut and everything, but it's just the way the world's going. I think you just have to move with the times. So no, it doesn't really affect me. I think it's the best way forward. I think we can't go back now. Like, everyone's got an iPhone.
Cat's out the bag, yeah.
Cat's out the bag. Like, everyone's got an iPhone, everyone's got a tablet. We can't just reverse back in time. We've just got to move with the times. So
how do you feel about that though? Like, if you had the power to, would you turn it back? Would you put
not really, no, because I
the genie back in the bottle?
Yeah, I think my job is in social media and content as a whole. If I went back in time, I don't even know what I'd do for a job. Do you know what I mean? So that's probably pretty selfish of me, but I feel like, I'm happy with the way things are going.
Yeah, but it's crazy, that whole concept that your job didn't exist.
Didn't exist, Matt. Literally, no wonder I didn't know what I wanted to do, because my job just didn't exist. When I first started in social media, it was Facebook and Twitter. Like, I was posting on Facebook. Instagram wasn't a thing. So
were you active back then on social media?
I think ever since Facebook and Instagram came out, I think this is why I work so well in the job that I've got as well. I was always an Instagram girly and a social media girly before that was even a job. So I was posting a lot myself on every social media platform going, Facebook, Instagram, when it first came out. So I feel like that's helped me in this role, sort of thing, and helped me in the job that I'm in, if that makes sense.
With the direction that everything's going and content becoming so big and so relevant, do you think that that's naturally going to empower a lot more women within that space? Just because every content creator inside weddings and inside businesses that I ever meet seems to be a female.
A woman.
Yeah.
Do you know what? This is something I've wanted to speak about. I think ever since, especially moving into weddings, you will find videographers are men and content creators are women. And I think it's just how we're programmed as women. I think we love an iPhone, we love a selfie. We're the ones on a night out or a wedding with our phones up, getting all the content anyway, as a guest, as a normal human being. Like, when I go out to the club, I've got my phone out, documenting the whole night. Do you know what I mean? When I'm a wedding guest, I'm documenting the whole thing. I think just naturally as girls, we're heavily on our phones. And I think it's always been that way. Whereas men are very technical and all of that
You
stuff.
said it in a nicer way, because
Yeah.
I always look at it that men are nerds.
Nerds, literally. I was thinking that in my head, but I thought I've got one sat opposite me, so I'm going to tread lightly. But yeah, you guys are like nerds in technical
Techie,
gear.
yeah,
I
yeah.
couldn't use your gear to save my life unless I was fully trained in it. When I see you guys at weddings, I'm like, wow, that's a technical skill. But I think with girls,
I also think there's an element though that you won't want to.
yeah,
You're not
literally,
interested.
I'm not carrying around that big thing on my shoulder. Do you know what I mean? I'll have backache. But I think with phones, I think it is empowering for women, because we've always been on our phones, and now we actually get to turn this into a job, and we're good at it. And I think I see loads of freelance content creators, and they're all girls as well. And I think the girls that get it. We just love being on our phones. We love editing content. We love making it look pretty. I think it's the perfect job. Not to be sexist, but
Yeah. No,
it is,
I don't think it is.
It's nice for the girls to have something that we're good at, and I think it is empowering. And I think it has been hard coming into the wedding industry, because you have got like male videographers who have been in it for years, male photographers. And we're all coming in, these young girls, like, hi, do you know what I mean? But I think it is hard coming in as a female to this industry. I think it can be intimidating. But I think we need to understand this is what we're good at. Brides and grooms are wanting it. Brands are wanting it. So we just have to roll with it and enjoy it. And just know that we're bringing something useful to the industry and things that people want as well. I think everyone wants content now, and we actually feel valued. I think me as a content creator, and even if I was a full-time freelance content creator, I'd feel like, wow, this is my time. Brands want me. Brands want this content. Brides and grooms want this content. I think it's a good time to be a content
alive.
creator. Yeah, we're thriving.
No,
Good time to be
I always
alive.
find it interesting, because even the social media layout,
Yeah.
TikTok and Instagram, to me anyway, seems to be dominated by women.
Yes, yeah.
And then like YouTube seems to be dominated by men.
Yes, I completely agree.
I don't even know what that is. It's just
It
interesting. Like,
And I think my husband, Ben, he's always on YouTube. He's always watching men on YouTube, like, and he podcasts as well, I think, is a...
here we go.
Yeah, here we go. Is a men thing. Like, my husband consumes a lot in podcasts, YouTube, all stuff like that, and he watches men on there. Whereas me, I'm on TikTok and Instagram watching my favourite influencers. So we'll be sat in bed, I've got my phone, he's got his iPad, he's got it that way, and I've got it this way with my phone. And yeah, it's
It's true though, because me and my wife are the same.
Yeah.
She's like, why do you watch these boring
Yeah,
podcasts?
literally.
It's just
and
someone
sit there
speaking.
for hours. I couldn't think of anything worse. I want something quick. I want to see what your outfit of the day is, whereas Ben wants to know about someone's life story on a podcast. So I feel like, it does work that way.
But that's why I
which is funny.
started this, because I was such a fan of the format to begin with.
Yeah.
Probably the same with you in content.
Yeah, exactly.
I think when you're a fan of it, you're drawn to it.
You draw,
And then like a part of you probably goes, I could do that.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. But when you first told me you were starting a podcast, I was like, Matt could do that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And my family and friends were the same when I said, I'm going to go into social media and content. They were like, yeah, that's the job for Lauren, because she lives and breathes it. So
Do you think that's what gave you the confidence to kind of walk away from what people would maybe view as like a proper career?
yeah. Absolutely. I've always done what I wanted to do. I've never been here to please anyone else. And I think that's helped me. I do, like I've touched on it again, I do think it's important to have parents who support you, because I was just like told, be who you want to be, do what you want to do. But I was always like, I always had the mitt taken out of me in high school, especially for always posting on social media, for always doing all that, because people would say to me it'd distract me from a real career. And now here I am doing social media as a career. So in a way, it's helped me.
Yeah, how crazy is that?
Yeah, how crazy. I'm glad I just listened to myself, and I was just confident in what I wanted. And like I said to you, I've never really sat in any career, and I've never thought I want to be this, I want to be that. But I've just turned a hobby into a career. So it's nice.
In 5 to 10 years, can you see yourself, even if you left content behind, for example, you would very much still be in social media?
Yeah, I think 1,000%. I always do think this. I think if I left content, if I thought I'm getting a little bit too old for this now, which I hope I won't be, I'll still be like a young 40-year-old. But I think in 10 years' time when I am 40, I'm like, right, do I want to wind it back a bit now? I'd probably go more into education, into the social media stuff. So many people want to learn about social media. And it surprises me every time I speak to people that people haven't got a clue sometimes, and that's fine, which they wouldn't do, but people really struggle on social media. So I think I'd go more into that education side of things when I had more time, because I don't really see myself shooting content for years to come. I'm enjoying it now, and I think I'm good at it now, but I think there will be a time where I'll want to wind down a little bit and maybe go into more education stuff, because I've never done that before. And I've never been confident enough on a subject to go into education, but I feel like I do know my stuff now.
Yeah.
So I feel like I'd probably go into that. I am qualified now. Sometimes I think I'm not. I'm like, will people listen to you? Will people think, who's this dumb blonde telling me what to do? But I do feel confident in what I'm talking about now. So yeah.
Where does your confidence come from? Because like you've just mentioned there, like the dumb blonde or whatever.
Yeah.
Is that how you see yourself, or is that how you think other people?
I think that's a joke, because people always used to call me, and like I said, it's so bad, but people used to call me like the dumb blonde, but I used to like lap it up. I'd be like, yeah, I am. Do you know what I mean? Because I wasn't very clever, but I think it's just...
In what sense? Academically?
Academically, yeah, absolutely not. Like, even, I feel like I am more creative, but even I wouldn't go as far to say as I'm a creative. Do you know what I mean? There was never anything that I sat in between. But, yeah, I'd probably get my confidence from my mum and my dad. I feel like my dad especially, because he was just such a confident man, and he always taught me to be confident in myself, to look good. He was always like, Lauren, if you look good, you can be confident. If anyone would have met my dad, like, he was the most confident person, and he was just like, you do you. And like, that's what he'd always say to me, you do you, and you be confident in yourself, because you're amazing. And I just got a lot of like positive reinforcement from my family. So I feel like that's helped me.
So that was like a really strong base for you growing up.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
that came from both sides.
Yes, yeah, definitely.
It's kind of go off, do
your own
like.
thing. Yeah. My mum thinks I'm the funniest person in the world, which helps. Do you know what I mean? Whenever I'm with my mum, she's like, "You're so funny. You're this and you're that." And I think it's so important as a parent. Like, you're a parent. I think it's so important to give positive reinforcement to your kids, because I think if you're shot down as a kid, you start doubting yourself.
Yeah.
You do. And I think I've seen friends go through that, and they've had such tough, probably I'd say tough love, but a lot of tough love from their parents. And I've seen how it's made them feel and how it's paved the way that they've gone through their career. Whereas for my mum and dad, it's just always been love. I'm going to get emotional, but they've been like the best, and I don't have any faults with them, and yeah, they've been the best. So that's my advice for any parent: just give positive reinforcement, because I think that's made me who I am today.
Yeah. Was there anyone who ever doubted you when you started all of this?
I'd say friends. When I was in high school and college, people would say to me, like, you need to know what you're going to do, Lauren. Like, you can't just be winging it forever. And friends would say to me, like, oh, what did you score on that test? Or what did you score on this test, like in college and everything? And it was like a bit of a competition, and I hated that. And I'm no longer friends with them people, but I always felt like it was a bit of a competition. Like, they were going to do amazing in life, and they were going to earn all this money. And I was always the butt of the joke. People would be like, Lauren doesn't even know what she wants to be. Lauren doesn't even know what she wants to do. And I think, so I think it started off in high school, and I would have teachers saying to me as well, like, you'll get through life with your personality, but you do need to like knuckle down now. So, and I can remember once I went for head girl at school, and I had one teacher. Can you imagine if they watched it? They won't. But I had one teacher, and you had to get your form signed by your teachers to say, yeah, I think you could go for head girl. And I went to my maths teacher, and he said, Lauren, I'm not being funny. He said, you haven't got the academics to be head girl, so I'm not going to sign that form. And that crushed me, because I thought, is this how it's going to be when I apply for jobs in the future, that I'm not good enough academically, so I can't do that job? And it crushed me, because everyone was so supportive, like at home, and a few of my friends were like, yeah, head girl, we really see you as head girl. And that one teacher said that, and I was like, no, I'm not applying for it now. Like, it crushed me. And that was the first time I think I was really like, wow, like, that was intense. Do you know what I mean?
always wonder if when people do stuff like that,
Yeah.
if they understand how big of an impact
Yeah.
they're actually.
I still remember about that now, and that was over 10 years ago. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's stuck with me, and that's always been at the back of my head, like that I'm going to go to a job interview and they're going to go, well, you're great personality wise, but you haven't got the skills for this job. And I always panicked about that, and that was from that one teacher. But like you said, it sticks with you for life, and I don't think people understand that as teachers, parents. When you say one bad thing, it sticks with them for a lifetime.
Yeah, for me, I was like a solid C grade student.
Yeah, same that. Literally me.
Like, I was never bad enough to need help.
Yeah.
But never good enough to be like outstanding.
Student. Yeah.
So yeah, I definitely relate to that.
Yeah.
And funnily enough, I think going through life, I've found that people who can speak to people and relate to people is so much more of a necessary skill.
Yeah. Absolutely. And I love my sister to bits. Again, hope she doesn't watch or listen, but I love my sister to bits. She's very academical. She loved doing academic stuff. And she always says to me, Lauren, I wish I had your personality, because then I could get through interviews. And I'm like, you just need to believe in yourself, Soph. But like you said, it is a skill that you need, I think, to be sociable. And I'm like, just believe in yourself. But she says to me, I wish I had that. And I'm like, oh, I love that, because she's amazing. She's so clever, and she's going into these like big careers and everything in the future because she's so academic. But she wishes she had my personality. And I'm like, oh, I love that.
So it's almost like you were looking at her.
Yeah, it's
as
like,
the
wow.
one.
Yeah. And she's looking at me as like personality wise. Because she's like, I'll never get through an interview. And I'm like, you will, Soph. Like, you'll absolutely smash it. But it was nice to know that she actually wanted something that I had, rather than be me with her sort of thing. So,
do you feel like a pressure in that sense to prove yourself?
I do. I think it's sometimes I overgive, and I think I've got to wind it down in that way. I think sometimes what's the word, like you overcompensate. I feel like I overcompensate sometimes, and I go too far with my personality, and I start like going, I think I need to rein it in a little bit and just believe that I am good enough without being this big massive character. So sometimes I'm like, wow, I went too far there, or I said the wrong thing. Do you know what I mean? And I'm like, Lauren, just rein it in. But yeah, I'm trying to work on that, but equally I like who I am.
Yeah. So what made you fall in love with storytelling?
I feel like storytelling for me, I think I just want to give someone that experience of their wedding. So in terms of wedding day, like as a wedding content creator, I want someone to look back at that day and think, wow, like that was my wedding day. I think the beauty of storytelling through content, you get to let that bride and groom relive their day. Like 24 hours later. I think that's the beauty of it. For me, as a bride myself, I blacked out the whole day. I can't remember what was said. I can't remember what was done. So I think the beauty of storytelling is just so they can replay their day over and over, because they've probably forgot it already. So I think it's nice, to be able to give that to someone. I think for me as well, like it's capturing them clips and for them to look back on in years and years to come, because just going back on an experience. So in 2024, I had a bride whose mom was terminally ill, and she was at the wedding. Like, they were all so thankful that she was at the wedding because the bride brought the wedding forward. And she had her wedding morning with her mom, and it was just them two. And I was capturing all of this. And I think all of them clips that I've captured, she now has to treasure forever. Like that story that I captured on the day, she's got that now forever. And sadly, I hope she doesn't mind me saying, but her mum passed away recently, and she's got now all them clips of her and her mum from that wedding morning. And I think that's so important, and that's what I love about this job and storytelling with content, because people can relive their moments by just going on the phone and looking through that. And she said, Lauren, I'm so grateful for them clips that you captured of me and my mum, because I've got them now forever. And for me, like I've lost my dad, and I've got no video footage of him because content wasn't a thing back then. Phones were a thing, like videoing on your phone and everything. I've got photos, but I've not got raw iPhone footage of him, and I'd give anything to get that back. So I think that's the beauty of storytelling through content.
Yeah. No, I completely relate to that.
Yeah.
What is the best memory you've personally got saved?
Best memory for me would be on phone, like
Any
just in my mind.
Yeah, it can be VHS, it could be phone.
VHS,
yeah.
anything. So my favourite memory that I always think about. So we found out my dad was terminally ill in 2017 at the start. So he'd had cancer for a few years, but we found out it was terminal in 2017 in May. And I can remember he said to me, he was like, Lauren, I've got a bucket list that we need to do. So he always used to climb up Snowdon as a lad, casually, just loved climbing up Snowdon. As a lad, as a teenager, when he was with my mum, and he would climb up Snowdon, loved it. And then he had me, lovely, typical girl, never wanted to go up Snowdon. Like, he'd always suggested, like, let's go climb Snowdon this weekend. I'd be like, absolutely not. You would not catch me climbing up anywhere. And I can remember we got the news that he was terminally ill. We didn't know how long he had. It was like up to 6 months. And he said to me, do you want to go up Snowdon now? And I was like, yeah, I do want to go up Snowdon. So we got the train up, which killed him inside because he was like, I'd never get the train up, but we had to.
Oh, was the option to climb up?
Yeah, or get the train, but we had to because he wasn't very well. So we went up Snowdon, and I can remember we got to the top of the mountain and he stood there looking out. And I had to take a moment because I thought he's now seeing the world through eyes as if he's going to lose this one day. And I think it really sat with me. And that's always been a memory because I saw the way he was looking at the world. And I think everyone needs to look at the world that way, as if it could be your last day. You don't know how long you've got left. And I think, yeah, that just sat with me, I think. And that's why it's always been a memory, because he was so happy to be up there and see these sights because he actually didn't know how long he had left.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's always been a memory that's stuck with me. And now I think I see the world in a different way because I think anything could happen. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, that's my best memory.
Did you capture that moment?
I've got, yes, photos, iPhone photos we've got. And it's so funny because I really wish I would have taken a video of it, but it just wasn't a thing then. We had selfies and I took photos of it up the top on my phone, but like I said, no video footage, and that's what kills me because I really wish I would have had that videoed, me and him up there, or even videoing the view just so I could look back at that.
Yeah.
So yeah.
The technology just wasn't there.
I don't know if people can relate to this, but 8 years ago, Instagram, there wasn't any TikTok, so no one took any videos on the phone. And I know it sounds weird. I don't know if this was just me, but it was always photos, like, and selfies, if that makes sense. It was never video content. Whereas now, me and Ben go up Snowdon every year to, like, honour my dad on his birthday, and I'm filming everything. So it's so weird. I feel like back then I would take photos of everything. Now I film everything. But I don't know whether that comes from losing someone as well, because now I realise I don't have any of that video footage. So now I film everything just in case anyone dies on me. Ben's like, why are you filming everything? I'm like, you might not be here soon. I'm like, I need to have your face on my phone. Yeah, literally, for the life insurance. But no, I film everything now. But I do think that relates to social media. Like, back then people used to just post stills on the phone, whereas now people take more videos for TikTok and Instagram and Reels. So yeah, it just wasn't a thing back then, and I regret.
It's interesting that such a poignant moment was still subconsciously dictated by what social media.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I thought, I want to take a photo of this view. Anything like that I think it's always instilled in us to do it for social media, which is bad. I think, like, we always get there and we're like, let's take a photo or a video of this just in case we use that. But I think now there's a deeper meaning to it, like just even having that video on your phone to look back on, not even to post on social media, but just to look back on is nice. And I think I wish I had more of that. So, yeah.
Yeah. So with that loss, do you think that changed how you run your business?
Absolutely. I think when I go to weddings especially, I'm always focusing. I'll always have a call with a bride before a wedding and agree if they want to join, but it's normally just the bride. And I'll always say to them, right, talk me through family. Who's important? Who have you got good relationships with? Because I think dads, especially when you have the first look and all of that stuff, I think that's so important to capture. And I'll always say to them, please do a first look, because you'll be surprised. Some brides are like, oh, I don't think I'm going to do one with my dad, it's awkward. And I'm like, no, do that first look, you will not regret it. And capturing that moment for them, and they'll message me the next day and they'll be like, Lauren, I'm so glad you told me to do that, because I've now got this moment with my dad. Even if it is like they come in and they laugh and you just have that sort of moment, they're not going to cry all the time. Yeah. I think it's just so important to capture that. And I think having this loss now makes me realise how important my footage is. And I think that's what makes the job so rewarding, that I'll go into a job and I'll make sure the moments with your nan are captured. Like if I see you interacting with your grandparents or your parents during your drinks reception, I'll capture that, because I think just looking back on that footage, if you lose that person, that footage is now worth more than any money in the world. So I think it helps me in my job to prioritise what I'm filming, because I think them family moments are just important as the couple moments. So yeah, I do always encourage first looks with dads, father-daughter dances if they're going to do one. Capturing that, moments with your mum as well, because I think mums are so important and they don't really get that much limelight during the wedding, but I always encourage people to involve their mums and do things with their mums, just so they've got that footage as well to look back on.
It's such a powerful story, and I think that with what we do, it's very straightforward, because you're telling a story that almost already exists before we get there.
It's like a love story.
There you go. Or like family or any of them relationships. Quite a hard question. How does a brand then have a story? Because as humans with families and relationships and maybe complicated relationships, we've naturally got stories, and like you were saying, losing your dad and stuff like that. It's stuff that people can connect with and relate to. How does a business, which is essentially maybe selling a product, it's quite a cold thing. Yeah. How does a business have a story? How do you relate to a business?
I think you relate to a business by having people who work at the business be the front face of their social media channels. I think if you show yourself on your social media, you then become more personable to your consumer. I think if you're a brand and you've not got a face behind the brand that's on social media, you're not going to relate to your audience. And it's funny because even when we were at Boohoo, just as I was leaving, we started to do like staff TikToks and interviewing the CEO and putting it on social media and making a bit of not a joke about it, but making funny content with the staff members, because people were saying to us in the comments on Boohoo, like, we don't feel listened as consumers. You're not answering us on customer service. You don't reply to DMs. As soon as you start putting faces on social media, people relate to you more and don't just see you as like a nice cold business. Do you know what I mean? People relate to you more when you put your face on there. So for me, I've always had feedback from brides and grooms saying, I just feel like a bit like a girl, like the girl next door on social media when I'm speaking on my stories or like speaking to my brides and grooms. And I always make a conscious effort to follow whoever I'm working with on social media so I can comment on their stuff and interact with them on social media, because I think it's so important. Like, I have a logo as my profile picture as well, and I'm actually considering changing it to like my face or something just to make it more personable, because I'd be really intimidating reaching out to a videographer or a wedding content creator or anything if they didn't really have themselves on their social media, if that makes sense.
It makes a lot of sense. Yeah. And it's really interesting because it's something that I've struggled with. So my branding, for example, is very personal.
Yes, yeah.
And I like it like that.
Yeah.
But then it becomes tough because obviously good problem to have, but when everyone wants to book and you're only one person, it's almost like it's a lot harder building a team once you've built the personal brand.
Definitely.
But then you can't have the business without the personal brand. Yeah. So it's like, how do you scale that?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not sure I have the answer for that.
Yeah, I know. It's hard. I'm going through that process at the moment where I've hired someone like a freelance content creator, and I'm like, how can I bring her in on stuff? So when people book and I'm not available, I'm like, oh, here's this person. And they're like, but I want you. You're the brand. So I think it's important just to get them in on it as well, and make yourself a bit of a team and show their face more and say this was their work. Do you know what I mean? I think there's a fine line between coming across too professional or coming across too personable. I think you've got like meet in the middle.
Yeah. So in this scenario, if Boohoo were to turn around and say, Lauren, we need you back.
Yeah.
We're paying you £1 million a month.
Yeah.
You're head of content.
Yeah.
How would you bridge that gap between, okay, we've got to make you a personal brand, but you're also a multi-million-pound turnover company with like a million different orders. You can't possibly be personally fulfilling every order.
Yeah, no, exactly. I know.
How would you go about that? What kind of direction would you take the content?
I feel like it's hard with Boohoo as well. I feel like they're such a big brand, but again, it's super important to just keep that. You've got to get the staff involved. You've got to get the faces of the brand involved. And I think the content with Boohoo, even getting to know the so we use a lot of models at Boohoo, even getting to know the models, like doing content like Q&As with the models or Q&A Mondays, like interviewing them as people, just so people know who these models are on the big billboards. I think it's hard with a big brand to not seem like too superficial. I think it's important on their social media channels to get to know all the staff, the models, the team that put all the work into their clothes, like even going to the people who like shoot the clothes, or do you know what I mean? Just speaking to everyone. And I think that's what I'd do. If I went back there, I'd make it so much more personable and get them people involved. Because me as a consumer, I want to see that. I think there's a brand that's just come out called Reason, and they're very like front-faced. It's the owner, it's this two co-owners, and they do all of the content. They film it, they're behind it, and it's so fun getting to know that person. And it's taught me, even with Brides of Social, I need to show my face more because people need to see me. They need to know who they're booking with before we have a content call in a few years' time or whatever. I think it's so important to have your face on social media and just interact with the consumer and everything.
So what do you prefer? Do you prefer running, let's say, the personal brand Brides of Social?
Yeah.
Or do you prefer the, I guess, more detached brands of social? Like, would you prefer one day having the brand?
Yeah.
Or helping the brand?
I don't know. I think I do prefer being Brides of Social and being me and just making it my own and everything. So yeah, I probably would want to just teach the brand in the future and not be that sort of I don't know, I like being myself and like being personal on social media. So yeah, I can never see myself going back to being a big brand, if that makes sense. I like who I am on social media now, and I've got my audience and I connect with my audience. So yeah, I think just being myself on there, on Brides of Social.
So with everything that you've built so far, what are you most proud of?
I think the I know it sounds so superficial, but the follower growth, because I am proud of that. And when I look in the UK, I feel like I'm going to toot my own trumpet, but I think I am one of the most followed wedding content creators in the UK. And to me, that's such an achievement because I've worked hard at that. I've tailored my content. I've made myself personal on my channel. I've done strategies to get me the follower growth, and I'm proud of like the audience that I've built as well. Like, they interact with everything that I post and comment, and I think it's like a really nice audience. And I think, yeah, I'm really proud of that. And I don't care if it sounds superficial, but I'm proud of the follower growth and the audience that I've built because I've just done what I'm good at, and it shows me that I'm good at social media. So that's nice. But yeah, I'm super proud of that, just building the followers.
I don't think it is superficial because it's a valid metric.
It's hard work.
It is hard work.
I think it's so hard work, and a lot of people can't do it. And I think to know that I'm good at something and to know that I can build this big brand audience, and not even that you can build it, but to keep them there and keep them entertained and keep them like, they want to be noticed. So for me, engaging with my audience that I've got is so important because they could just unfollow me and think, why the hell am I even following this? Or even my brides and grooms that have got married, they still carry on following me because they enjoy my content and they enjoy what I post. So it's really rewarding knowing that what I'm posting on there and what I'm creating is resonating with people. And And yeah, I think that's so important that these followers are sticking there as well. I'm not just losing them overnight because
you've
they
built
think, what
like
the hell have I followed?
You've built like a proper little community.
Yeah,
as
little
well.
community, yeah. And people DM me all the time and they're like, you're such a big inspiration. I love your channel. I love this. And that's so rewarding for me. Like, them are the best messages ever to receive, because to be an inspiration to someone isn't something that I never thought I'd be able to be or do. I think it's so rewarding, that is, and I couldn't ask for anything more. And just knowing that, like, I come across nice. I had a message the other day saying, even before we booked you, we knew what you were like as a person. And I thought, that's so nice. Like, people know me already before booking me and speaking to me, because I come across well on my social media. I'll say this and then overnight I'll come across like a dick. But yeah, that is rewarding, and just knowing that I've built that audience and kept that audience is nice.
So leading on from that, do you ever feel pressure to come across a certain way? Because obviously I know you off camera.
Yeah.
And I know that who you are on camera is very authentic to who you are in real life. But do you ever feel a pressure to present a certain way when cameras are on, because you have to kind of keep that up?
Absolutely. I think we were chatting about this off camera, but sometimes I feel a little bit common. And I don't know why. Maybe it's because of where I'm from. But my goal in the wedding industry is to get those luxury bookings and make them luxury bookings. I think that is a goal for me. And sometimes I think, God, if they knew the real me, would they book me?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And I'm like, and sometimes when I go to the more luxury weddings, I hold back, and I know I'm holding back in my head, and I'm super quiet, and I'm thinking, Lauren, this just isn't you. Just be yourself. That's why they've booked you. But I do find myself holding back in these more like luxury weddings, and I know I shouldn't, but I do find myself like that. And then I'm thinking in my head, do I want to do these luxury weddings if I can't be myself? But I do have that doubt in my head that I'm not good enough for that. And sometimes I think maybe I am too relatable and too silly, or too like the girl next door. Maybe I need to be more professional, but I don't know. It's hard, isn't it? I think you've got to come across professional, but you've also got to come across welcoming, and you've got to resonate with them people. So yeah, it's a tough one, but sometimes I do think I need to rein it in a little bit if I want to come across professional. So I do hold back a little bit.
It's a juggling act, isn't it?
It is.
Because I think authenticity is so important that people actually might book you more.
Yes, because
based
I'm being
on the
authentic.
real you.
Yeah.
But then there is a line.
It might put off some people though.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh no.
But do you want them to be put off? That's
yeah.
I don't even know the answer.
Hard,
it's hard.
Yeah. I think I just need to be myself, and if you book me, you book me. If you don't, draw. See you later.
That's your website tagline.
Yeah, if you don't, try.
Try. See that, mate.
But yeah, I think I want the people to boot me because of me, and not just because of my work. Obviously, I want them to love my work, but I want them to love me as well. We're such big parts of people's days as well. I don't think people understand, when you book a supplier, we'll be with you like 90% of the day. Yeah. So I think I do want them to like me as a person and not just my work. I just want to be myself. Yeah. It's exhausting trying not to be.
Yeah.
Like, I always feel exhausted, like holding in and holding what I'm going to say. So a lot of the time I am like holding back.
Why is that?
I don't know, in case people think, who is she? Like, she's annoying. Do you know what I mean? Going into any social setting, like even when I've done networking events with other people in the wedding industry, I do hold back at the start because I think I'm too much sometimes. So
this is what I was going to ask. Are you like that offline? Do you find yourself holding back in social settings?
Absolutely not. Like with my people and my family, Jesus, like they're probably sick of me. Like I don't switch off. I don't have like an off button. And Ben's such an introvert, so I think he just sits there quiet while I waffle on. Like my friends and family know me down to a T, and even brides and grooms know me down to a T, because when I feel comfortable, I will be myself. But yeah, I don't hold back in my personal setting. That is just, I am who I am.
No, you definitely are.
You know more than anyone. Like I don't have an off button. But I think the first time we met, I was probably quite quiet, was I?
Yeah, no, you are actually.
Yeah, so I feel like until we've had a bit of a brief conversation,
yeah,
I will be quiet. So,
that's fair.
Yeah.
And you were probably around me and you thought,
yeah,
he's
and I was
also an idiot.
Scared, yeah, literally, and then I thought, I'm fine. But you're intimidating the first time I met you. You're intimidating.
People say this and I don't get it.
No, just because you're like cool, calm and collected. And I thought, who is this like big friendly giant? Do you know what I mean? I thought, is he friendly?
Like for me, when I'm around anyone, my energy is calm. So I always think that wouldn't be intimidating.
Yeah.
But the amount of people that have said, oh, like, when I got to know you, I loved you. But when I first met you, I was a bit...
I was shit scared. Can I swear? I was scared. Do
you
know what I mean?
Why is he so relaxed?
I know, yeah. I was like, why is he too calm? And you're so quiet. You're like just getting on with your job as well. So I thought, can I speak to him? Is he going to think, who the hell are you? Do you know where I've had a bit of a setback going into wedding content creation? As mentioned, I've always been super confident. Like nothing would ever stand in my way. But going into wedding content creation, I think, because some of us have had a little bit of a setback and some suppliers have been like, who the hell are you? Like, what is this new thing? This is the first time that I've like felt anxious sometimes going to weddings because I think I can't fully be myself. I don't know who's going to greet me there. I don't know who the other suppliers are going to be. So this is probably the first time in a career that I felt a little bit nervous. Do you know what I mean? I think it's getting better now because people are understanding what a wedding content creator is. Even guests were looking at me thinking, why the hell is she filming the wedding on a phone?
Yeah, get off your phone.
Yeah, get off your phone. Literally phone on silent. Like she just said phones away. But I think this is the first time I felt a bit uneasy. I think it's getting better now, but there has been times where we've not been accepted. So I think it's like knocked my confidence a little bit. So most of the time I will go into a wedding quiet. And then do you
have the same experience when you're going into businesses and stuff?
No, I don't. Do you know what? I think it's been around in businesses more. So even at Boohoo back in 2021 when content was first a thing and I went on the shoot with the videographer and photographer, we were all fine. Like it just is what it is. Like it happens in business. But I found in weddings it's different. In brands, it's just like content's been around for years now.
People understand
it. And the videographers and photographers on a brand shoot will know you're there for a reason. Like they're there for a reason. And we'll all take it in turns to get content. Whereas on a wedding, I think it's still super new and fresh, which has been hard to transition to. Like going from Boohoo, where content was the be all and end all, and that was like the main thing, going into the wedding industry where it's not as well known and people don't really normally book it as much. It's been like a hard transition in a way. It's taken some getting used to, but it is getting more and more common now. So, yeah.
So with the Brides of Social brand and the Brands of Social brand and everything that you've achieved and will achieve going into the future, what do you think younger Lauren would say?
She'd be like, go girl, like go bestie. Do you know what I mean? I feel like she'd be clapping her hands. She would be overjoyed because she's doing something that once was a hobby, now into a full-time career. And she'd see that, how happy I was to be doing this as a job. And like I said, little Lauren did sometimes have concerns that I wasn't going to find a career that I fitted into and I wasn't going to be successful. But now I am, and like I am successful. Sorry, I need to sit back and say that because sometimes I forget and I need to realise what I've built and what I should be proud of. And yeah, little Lauren would be like, wow, you've done it.
Do you find it hard admitting that?
Yeah, because
it was like you paused then.
Yeah, it was so hard because like little me never had a career plan or a career path. And I think now looking back, I'm like, wow, I've actually built a brand. Speak to me 5 years ago and say you'd have your own brand, I would have never thought that. Like to have my own brand in it, to be something that I'm really good at is amazing. And I sometimes have to sit back and think, wow, you've done it. And yeah, hopefully it sticks now and hopefully I can pass the 5-year mark because they say businesses take 5 years to be successful. Is that something they say?
I don't know. It's something you. It's something
I've said to myself. So if I pass 5 years, I've succeeded. But yeah, I need to sit back and realise how far I've come. Take it in and realise people are actually booking me.
I struggle with that because it's so non-stop.
It's imposter syndrome as well. I think we forget that people are actually booking us because of the work we produce, and I think
we're a bit all right.
Yeah, we are. Even you, like, you have to sit back and think, wow,
Yeah.
I'm good at what I do. Like, there's a lot of people that look up to us as well in our industries, and I think that's such a big compliment.
Which is crazy.
It's crazy.
That's so weird for me
and
when
every
I come
time I
across
go
that.
to a wedding, they're like, PS visuals, wow, he's sick. Do you know what I mean? And I think we have to sit back and think, oh my God, that's amazing. And it takes a while to sink in, and I don't realise it sometimes. I'm just winging it.
Are you kind of always looking for the next?
I am kind of always in the back of my head. I love sitting with things, don't get me wrong. I'm happy where I am now and cruising, but in the back of my head, I'm like, right, I need next steps. So I am always thinking in my head, what am I going to be doing in 5 years' time? What am I going to be doing in 10 years' time? But for now, I'm happy at where I am, but I do need to start thinking about the future and where it's going to go and how it's going to expand, and whether I want to do more brand stuff. Do I want to do education? Do I want to go back into social media management? So yeah, I need to have a long, hard think about what I want to do. A serious
Leads
thing.
me into my next question,
Yeah.
which you're clearly not prepared for.
Me.
What is the next chapter?
Oh yeah, me. I need to have a certain thing. No, the next chapter for me is, sometimes I hate thinking this because I'm like, I don't want to put too much pressure on myself. I think that's when I break. I don't want a lot of pressure, but I think the next big thing for me, like I said, maybe education. I feel like, could you see me in education?
Yeah.
I know a lot of stuff, and I sometimes forget about that. And clearly it's working on my social media channels. So maybe I can go out and teach that to brands, photographers, videographers, other content creators. So yeah, I think
It's a massively valuable skill.
It is.
Probably an undervalued skill as well.
And to think this wasn't even a job back then, and now it's a skill that everyone needs. Even my husband, he's a plumber, and I'm like, you need to be on social media and you need to have a social media presence because people look on social media for everything. Google's done, in my eyes. People are now looking for things on social media. So I think if you don't know what you're doing on social media, that could risk how you do in your business. So I think it'd be great to teach more people about that and how it can be a useful tool in your business and marketing.
Social media has been a game changer for everything that I've done in business.
Absolutely.
And
do you think you'd have as many bookings without social media?
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
No way. Because I think in any business, you can get to a level where you are proficient and good enough at what you do.
Yeah.
Maybe you go past that, maybe you're smashing it.
Yeah.
But if no one knows, it's like no one cares.
No one cares. And I don't know about you, but I hardly look at a website now. And I don't know if that's bad. Maybe I need to work on my own website in case social media just disappears. But consumers for any brands are looking on social media, whether it's fashion, weddings, anything. They're looking for who they want to employ or book on social media. So yeah, it's a huge thing.
I think the website is very much to just confirm that you're a real person.
Yes, absolutely. And Google reviews, like I didn't have Google reviews until last year, which is a bit bad, but I've got Google reviews now, and I think that just shows that I am a real person. Here's what people think of me. Here's my reviews. But yeah, a website is where your inquiry form can sit, and just a little bit about yourself. Like, so you said, you can be a real person. But if I didn't have social media, no one would find my website.
Yeah.
I've not done any SEO. Do you know what I mean? So social media is huge, for any business or any brand.
Do you think it's just going to keep growing? Do you think it will just get bigger?
Yeah, absolutely. If it's not going to be Instagram or TikTok, it'll be a new platform. It'll just carry on growing and growing. We're not in a world now that won't ever be with social media, and that's just the way it is. People hate that. My mum hates that. People in an older generation hate that, but the way the world's going, it'll just get bigger and bigger and bigger. So if you haven't got a presence on social media now, you should start thinking about doing that, because it's the be all and end all. And some people say to me, I've got loads of bookings, I've got loads of business without social media. In the future, that might not be the case. Like, you need to get on there now and know what you're doing and just have a presence on there. Because if I was booking you and you didn't have a social media account, I think you were fake. Do you know what I mean? I'd be like, where's his social media?
Yeah.
Like, where's his work? I think it's a little bit of a portfolio. So that's my advice to any business or brand. Get on social media and teach yourself about how it works and use it to your advantage as well.
So what if I'm 50-year-old Dave?
Yeah.
I'm a builder. I've done this through word of mouth for
Yeah.
25 years.
Yeah.
I have no interest in social media. All I see is young, attractive women on there.
Yeah.
And like I said, I'm 50 and I'm a builder
Yeah.
and I'm not in great shape. How am I jumping into this world that is so foreign?
Listen, I feel like, but I can relate that to my husband as well. Like, he's not 50-year-old Dave. I'm not into older men. But he's in a similar boat. He's a plumber, doesn't go on social media, hasn't got Instagram himself, hardly posts anything. He always says to me, what's the point in that? And I'm like, Ben, it's new potential, new clients, bigger clients, because he at the moment is word of mouth. But I'm like, Ben, you could get some really, really cool work on Instagram if you show your work on there. People could boot you from all over. Like, you could just get a wider target audience, basically. Build on your brand and just, yeah. I'd always say start with Instagram. Do you know what I mean? But invest in that help. There's people who do social media management. There's people who do freelance content creation. If you're a plumber, come get someone to film your bathrooms.
Get a content creator.
Yeah, get a content creator, or even a videographer, a photographer. Come and get someone to document your bathrooms, your kitchens, or whatever, and post about it. Because I know you've got your word of mouth bookings now. They might not last forever. You need to reach a wider target audience.
Yeah, it's funny because I actually would say, don't get a videographer.
Yeah.
Get a content creator.
Yeah.
In that scenario.
Yeah.
Because I feel like a videographer is going to be there for maybe your brand story,
Yes,
maybe
yeah.
your polished
With
long
audio,
form.
yeah, and a bit more of a backstory on you. And then you've got your content just to come and film your bathroom that you've done that's going to go viral on TikTok. Like, Dave's bathrooms could be going viral on TikTok and he doesn't know that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's what I said to Ben. I posted a reel he did on TikTok and it went viral. And he was like, oh my God, I've gone viral. He's buzzing. And I'm like, well, actually, I've made you go viral because we've posted it on TikTok and I've come and filmed it for you. Like, every business can benefit from social media.
I think that's so interesting because, like that scenario, I think there's a lot of people out there that would be like, oh, it's great, but it's not for me.
Yeah, but word of mouth's not going to last forever.
No.
It's not.
Well, this is the word of mouth.
Yeah, it is. It, like, people aren't speaking in the streets anymore. People aren't meeting up at the shops and saying, oh, do you know a plumber? People aren't doing that. They're just looking on social media. And yeah, if I'm looking for someone local to me or whatever, I'll type in plumber in the explore page on Instagram and people will come up who are local to me. So it works the same as Google. But yeah, word of mouth won't last forever. And like you said, it's not the thing anymore. We're not going out in the street. We're not speaking to people. We're sitting at home on our phones. So yeah.
Which is quite sad. But
It is sad, but it's the way the world's going.
Yeah. It's
sad.
kind of get with it or get left behind.
It is. I think it's about having a balance as well because my job is social media, but I will still spend quality time with family and friends. I think it's about having a balance, but it is the way the world's going, unfortunately. Fortunate for me. But,
unfortunate for everybody
everyone
else.
else, apart from content creators and social media people. But no, yeah, it is. It's the way the world's going.
Yeah. Do you think that we're generally just moving towards a digital age?
Yes, absolutely. I think even my nan now is on Instagram and TikTok. Like, even older generations now are realising this is the way things are happening. And it'll only get bigger and bigger. I'm just glad as a generation that we're like looped in on it. I feel like we're not as far as the older people than us. They're a bit out of the loop with it. I'm glad that we've just got the cusp of it, so we can now just keep up with the trends
Just
going
about.
forward. Just about.
Yeah.
I'm not on Threads on Instagram.
I never really got that.
No, I'm not on that, but apparently it is big.
They're
but
doing well.
Yeah, I'm not on it though.
See, I was speaking to Mel and I said,
Yeah.
I'm always trying to keep up with what's
with
going
the trends.
on. And,
Yeah,
and
I know.
I
It's a full-time job.
it really is. It really is. I see a lot of potential with streaming, live
Mm-hmm.
streaming. There's a lot of streamers that are getting big
Yeah.
and stuff like that. And
Yeah.
I half wonder if that's the newer, even more instant.
Yeah,
But how instant can it get?
is live,
Yeah.
literally. But that's come about from like TikTok Live and Instagram Live and all stuff. Like, loads of people going live on TikTok, and it's just it's literally instant. It's scary a bit, but
It made me wonder with like the format of podcasts and stuff.
Yeah.
Like I like how we do this because we can chop it up and
Yeah.
edit it, and we've got time to.
I would never go live with this.
Can you imagine though? Because
No, I know. But some people do. Some people do, and I'm like, no, I need to look back on what I've said and what I've done. I've never gone live as a personal brand. Have you?
No.
I don't know.
Apparently it's really good.
Yeah, it's for your views and everything and doing all that. I do know content creators who go live with videographers or photographers and they have a chat on live, and I'm like, oh my God, I couldn't do that. But maybe it's the way things are going. So yeah.
So with everything that we've gone over,
it's
a question that I ask everyone now.
Yeah.
Is it all worth
Choose the corny question. Is it all worth it? Yeah, it is. And I think it's all worth it for me because I've followed my dream and I've just done what I wanted to do. And I think it is all worth it because seeing people's faces when I create this content for them and I give that to them makes it 10 times worth it. Like, it's amazing.
Smashed it. Thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you for having me.
You okay now? Not as nervous now.
I can breathe now. Can I have my water bottle now?